Nottingham, Lexie and Ed have been battling for nearly a year over whether to love or list their family home.
I like it, but it's too small.
But while Lexie's reluctant to give up on their perfectly located Georgian semi,
I just feel like it's got so much potential, like so much potential.
I'm quietly confident that I'll be able to find them a bigger house with parking and within easy reach of shops and schools with their budget of £450,000.
And I have a budget of £60,000 to create more space in their current house for their growing family and convince Ed that this could still be their forever home. So I've had to think outside the box.
So basically, I sat around this table with you. I heard you talk about your big family, and I realised that this is quite a manic room.
Yeah.
Upstairs is everyone's own private spaces. If a friend comes round, you sit now on the sofa.
Yeah.
But if you had a bigger kitchen, you'd sit in the kitchen.
Yeah.
My plan centres around opening the back of the house to create a large eat-in family kitchen. The space at the front could then be split off to create a cosy TV room. As for the much-needed second bathroom, part of the new kitchen will be a multifunctional laundry room cum WC, which will be accessed via the entrance hall. And finally, while we can't create an additional room upstairs, a garden pod will provide space for Ed to work from home, freeing up one of the bedrooms so the eldest two children will no longer have to share.
I like the idea of that.
I worry that if you put the wall back in here, then this room will become very small.
It will become very small. Listen, Lexie, I know what you wanted. You wanted this built out here.
Yeah, yeah.
And the reason it's not there
Yeah.
is because we can't get an agent to assure us that you'd get that money back.
Right.
Because you would be reaching the ceiling price of the street. That is a conversation for you two.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
When we first met, Ed looked me in the eye and said, I do not want to take the spending on this house beyond what it can sustain.
Yeah.
Back at home, after 4 months of deliberations, work has finally started on the new garden pod. But the plan for inside the house has been scaled back. And while they no longer have the budget for the kitchen extension, utility and WC on my original plan, Ed and Lexie still hope to make better use of their current space by installing new storage in the lounge, turning it into a multifunctional room for the whole family. They'll also block off the side door in what's currently the play area and reinstate the original narrow dining space. By cutting back on the build, they can now afford to address another of Ed's bugbears and are going to drop the curb to create a driveway.
I'm still very much team list it because I think that even with everything we're doing, even though we're freeing up a bedroom with the garden pod, we're still going to need to have a bigger house.
And with a budget of £450,000, I'm confident I'll be able to find a house that at least ticks a few more boxes than they're getting at home. We are 1 mile from home.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have tried to pull out all the stops with this. This is an absolute cracker, and it does have 5 bedrooms.
It actually looks like quite a nice house.
It actually looks like a nice house you want me to. Come on, let me show you around. A promising start, and I can't wait to see their reaction to what's inside. On the market for £475,000, it's slightly over budget. But with a vast kitchen diner and a spacious lounge, this house is almost double the size of theirs. 5 good-sized bedrooms set across the first and second floor mean the children could each have their own space. And with an ensuite main room, a ground floor toilet and 2 family bathrooms, they would never have to argue over the loo again.
Yeah.
It's really big up top, isn't it?
It's definitely ticked all the boxes. We can definitely grow into a house of this size. Feels very homely as well.
Yeah, actually, that's true. I think the nice thing here is there is actually details. So, like around the doors, there's details and nice little things that make it not feel like a new build.
Hopefully you can see now that there is life outside of your road.
Yes, most definitely.
In Nottingham, it's been 10 months since we first met Lexie and Ed, and it's finally time to find out whether they've decided to love or list their 1920s semi.
By blocking off the side door and freeing up space in what was the old playroom, Lexie and Ed have still managed to create a kitchen diner with space for the whole family.
Blocking up the door is actually a masterstroke because it, again, has taken pressure off everything.
Yeah.
And by moving the dining table in here, out of what was the lounge diner, they've made a more comfortable living space and play area, with new bespoke storage units keeping the children's toys out of sight. Spending just £15,000 within the house, Ed and Lexie have managed to completely transform every room and make better use of the space they already had. Upstairs, the exterior of Ed's cold former office has been rendered to provide better insulation, and it's been completely redecorated as a beautiful new bedroom for Xanthi, so she no longer has to share with her brother. Meanwhile, Ed has moved his office outside into one half of the new £20,000 garden pod. By fully insulating the pod and installing electrics and heating, they've created 2 additional rooms and gained 21 square metres of living space. So while Ed can work peacefully on one side, on the other Lexie and the kids can craft to their heart's content, and the clutter stays completely out of the house.
I love what you've done here, and you've absolutely taken pressure off the house for now. But is it really a long-term solution?
This might be the moment to mention.
Go on, give us the news.
Average pre-renovation valuation, £282,500.
How much did you spend?
£35,000.
Yes.
Average post-renovation value, £340,000. Value added, £57,500. Yeah. Value added minus spend, £22,000.
That's very good.
Yeah, that's
really good.
That is really good.
Yeah.
Because usually, if you don't add any space on, you just do a rejig, you shouldn't lose money, but you're not going to make money.
That was one of the big things. We didn't want to overstretch what we could get out of the house. So to hear that makes me happy.
Do you want to love it?
Or do you want to list it?
We are going to stay here and enjoy the house, but ultimately list it.
So you'll enjoy it for a bit because it's all new and fresh.
Yeah.
And then move.
It's been a long journey here and something we should have started a long time ago. But as you've pointed out a lot, it still doesn't meet the needs of our family.
Yeah.
For now, it does. It's just as they get older and they start fighting for the bathroom, I think that's going to be an issue.
It's looking tip-top.
You've done a really great job. It's a special house.